Oh,
Okay.
And CMD, LC, countdown 1. LC, this is CMD. Yeah, you go to transfer signals to internal power and report when complete.
camera is rolling.
And I copy and work. System, LC, countdown 1. LC system. Yeah, step 432, you go to coordinate the final adjustment on the payload ECS, temp set points. In work. Copy and work.
And those sounds you hear in the background can only be heard at one place.
Tal, on countdown 1.
Go ahead, Tal.
Arming is complete.
And that's
Okay,
a rocket
that.
launch.
We'll check 424 complete.
Are you sure about that?
And every now and then, we have to break for the launch director.
Yeah.
All right, he'll come over the PA like now.
1.
And we'll always
yeah, ops 2,
pause.
you go for step 433.
So this is the launch of the
LCF2,
NG-10.
BBP activated.
Correct. They renamed it. Last time it was OA for Orbital
46.
Orbital
10.
ATK.
ATK.
And I copy
right.
that ops 2. We'll check
Now it's
433.
they were bought by Northrop Grumman
And
in the time since we were here last.
On 434.
The deal was almost finalized actually when we were here the last time. And when I was here the last time in the spring, and now
resume time will occur
that deal is now
08,
complete.
5131.
So now we have NG for Northrop Grumman, the new owners of the rocket.
Right.
the pad.
And of course, it was originally going to be OA-10E.
Correct, because this is extended contract.
Right.
NASA's contracted out with both SpaceX and now Northrop Grumman to extend their contracts for resupply missions to the International Space Station.
So it's quite a journey just to get to this part.
What do you mean? Us actually being here for this?
I'm not talking about the 8.5-hour drive down. I'm talking about being in Chincoteague, Virginia, for a few extra days.
Yeah. The launch was originally scheduled for Thursday morning at about 4:40, which would have put us pretty close to twilight. We would have had a little bit of gray on the skyline. But the launch was delayed because of basically a torrential rainstorm, near tropical storm force winds here on the island.
Yeah, in rocket science terms, it was a weather violation.
Right, but it was nearly tropical storm force winds here on the island. It was blowing at least 30 miles an hour, and we got 2 inches of rain.
LC MES1.
They decided to take the launch to
Copy that, MES1.
Friday was the next attempt day. That was also a violation.
LC, this is CMD on countdown 1. Go ahead, CMD. Yeah, Cygnus is on internal power and nominal. Copy that. We'll check 431, and I can also check 434.
And that is a good check.
So
System LC, countdown 1.
So Friday was a no-go as well because of high winds in the area and crosswinds at different altitudes.
Countdown 1.
That's the NASA social people, and they're taking a photograph, I would bet.
And that brings us to tonight or this morning,
yes.
however you want to look at it.
Yep, this morning.
System LC, countdown 1.
And we're looking up at the skies. There's absolutely no ceiling to worry about.
Yeah, I wanted to get an update on 432.
Correct.
Yeah,
Right now we have clear
LC
skies. We
432
have a
is
nice
complete.
bright star field
Copy
overhead.
that. We'll check 432 complete.
Very little light pollution down here, which is always nice. I know that I've been listening to the calls that during the time here, and any humans at the pad have evacuated back to a safe distance, which I believe they call VC-70 is what the call I believe was. Originally it was one pullback point, and now they're at the second pullback point, and they're probably hunkered down for the duration of this event.
Right. And I'm looking at my clock right now. We're about 10 or 11 minutes away from terminal countdown.
Countdown 1. At this time, I would like to poll to proceed with final countdown.
Which would give us the 10-minute mark.
Right.
GSO, go. RSO.
RSO, go pending.
Go pending on what, RSO?
We've just had a VMRC boat that currently is fouling our back area. We're trying to get contact. They're on their way out right now.
Copy that. TD?
Go pending.
Prop lead?
Prop lead is go.
Stage 1.
Stage 1 is go pending resolution of T2 interstage bay temp.
So there's some minor issues.
MES1.
MES1 is go.
GC.
GC is go.
ACE.
ACE is go.
Mars.
Mars is go.
CMD. CMD is go. LD. LD is go. And NG.
In honor of John Young, who demonstrated unwavering courage in the quest to advance the cause of the human exploration of space, Northrop Grumman is go.
Copy. Northrop Grumman is go. Launch team is go to proceed with final countdown at T-minus 10 minutes. We have RSO and TD pending based off a Fowler currently on the back bay, and stage 1 pending a resolution to interstage bay temp.
So we're holding on the countdown. We have one boat out there.
And we have a
I believe-
5-minute window.
Well,
LC, this is TD on countdown 1.
Go ahead, TD.
I'm go for step 436.
Copy that. And RSO, can I get the GSO? Can I get a RSO? Can I get a confirmation of the same?
Range Safety Officer is RSO. I believe it's a boat they have control over.
When we were here last year, it was
LC,
not a
please
boat,
repeat.
it was a plane.
Hold on.
Yeah, RSO, just trying to verify that you've cleared your pending.
We are go.
There
Okay,
we go.
roger that.
That's
All right.
a good sign
the,
as well.
The boat is clear.
And
I think it
launch
was
team
one of their
countdown
boats the
has
way I was
resumed.
gathering
We'll
the
go ahead and check step
conversation.
40
It was the boat they had
437 complete.
control over.
Ops 2, you go for 438.
Therefore, the boat that they had
Deactivate
control
CVP.
over is now out of the area.
LC Ops 2, VVP deactivated. IRIG is 085145.
Somebody's asking us the best viewing point.
Evacuation ended.
Everybody
step
hurts to
439.
the fence.
Copy that. We'll check 438. and
But actually, when it goes
439.
up,
Ops
you're
2,
not.
Your go to
Actually, this is a
activate
better
VCD
viewing
to
point right by the
initiate
tent,
engine
believe it or
fuel
not. Because there's not as many
LC Ops
people
2,
around here.
VZ deactivated.
It's a little bit better
Fuel
actually
priming
back here.
initiated. IRIG is 0852.
We need to be tethered to power, so that's why we're here.
And there's heat in the tent.
Yeah, there's heat in the tent. You can go back and
There's heat
forth.
in the tent.
You know, we were talking about that, Ken. It actually feels colder today than it did when it was 26 degrees here when I was here last. And I think that's because it's wet.
You know, I remember a year ago, I showed up in a tank and shorts, and the following day I'm wearing layers because it's down to 20 degrees.
Right. The last two launches have been very cold here, which is great for viewing. I don't know if you're noticing this, but there's a little heat effects off the water. You're seeing that shimmering on the screen right
I know,
now.
I can see it, and once we check out the video that we are recording, we'll see if the camera picks it up.
Yeah, there's some heat effects coming off the water right now because the water's probably slightly warmer than the air right now. But we're under 10 minutes away from the launch of Antares NG-10.
And the
The international-
NG-10 is carrying a Cygnus module,
LC,
which is supplying the
MES1,
ISS.
priming complete. Copy. Ops 2, you go to activate VRG.
Approximately 7,400 pounds
LC
worth
Ops
of
2,
supplies.
VRG activated.
Yeah, that's
And Ops 2, deactivate
weighs more than
VVD.
most cars.
Weighs more than several cars.
Yeah. I think
LC
anything
Ops
that
2,
will blow a truck,
VZD deactivated.
4 tons.
Copy that. We'll check 442
Yeah,
and
close to
443.
4 tons of
Insight control, can you give me 446?
supplies and food.
LC GN2 conditioning initiated.
So you're hearing all the
Copy
calls.
that. Ops 1, your go for step 447. Enable ACS VDM.
Believe it or not, there's
I copy
thousands
LC.
of steps that go into
LC
every launch.
MES1 FIV position indicates open step 444.
And they go
Copy.
through
Check
each and every
444.
one
Ops 2,
unless
you're
they
good
have a
for
specific
445.
waiver.
Right, and they were talking about that for something in telemetry
LC
that
Ops
they really
2,
weren't concerned
VRG
about.
deactivated.
Check 445.
LC Ops 1 ACS VDMs internal power on.
Several science missions
Copy
on
that.
board
We'll
this
check
launch,
448.
including one that kind of struck me. On the last mission, they brought up working on how
And Ops 2, you
cement
go for 450. You can
would
initialize
cure in
initialize
space.
ground ordnance power supplies.
or in microgravity, and they had some
LC
interesting
Ops 2,
results from
ground
that.
ordnance power supplies initialized.
Elect
And
1,
the university
451.
that started that, I believe it was Purdue, is coming back for a second round
Ground ordnance power supplies initialized.
because they had
Check
some
451.
results. They had some results to their experiment that kind of didn't baffle them, but they wanted to confirm the results of the experiment.
Mm-hmm.
So they're going back to do it again. Some of the crystalline structures that formed in the cement formed very large, which was highly unusual. And they believe that to be the microgravity part where it doesn't really
LC
settle
prop
like
lead
it
on
does on the
countdown
Earth.
1. Go. VTSO activation verified.
Copy that. Check 449. And site control, I'll wait for your call on AFBA ECS transfer.
So if the countdown did resume, we're about 6 minutes away, 6 or 7 minutes away.
Also, on top of a lot of science and other supplies on board the Cygnus
LC
module,
transfer to GN2 is confirmed.
is
Copy that.
their
We'll check 452 complete.
Christmas dinner. They have a
Yeah.
special holiday meal on board that's going to be delivered, along with, and we found this out at the conference the other day, ice cream.
That's one of the things that they try to give them anytime they have a fresh delivery.
Mm-hmm.
And there's also a lot of fresh vegetables on board, stuff that would keep or they could use fairly rapidly. And they load those a couple of days before it rolls out to the pad. So that kind of stuff will actually keep for a period of time. What they're doing for the next mission, NG-11, is they're redesigning the fairing cap on top of the Antares rocket.
And Ops 1, your go for 453. Transfer avionics to internal.
LC Ops 1 in work. All internal power on. Selected. Standing by 5 seconds.
And that's a good call.
Yeah, they're transferring
All
power to the
external
rocket.
power off. Selected. Step complete.
All right, so
Select 1, step 454.
what's
Internal
cool in
power is
NG-11 is
Copy. Check
they're going to be able to
454.
remove the
Ops
top
1,
of the
open the
fairing
STS
cap
loop,
without
verify
pulling
green.
the whole fairing apart. And
LC
what that
Ops
will
1,
allow
STS
was
loop open in green.
last-minute loading of
And elect 2.
cargo
Step
onto the
456.
Cygnus spacecraft.
LC-2, FTLU, and FTS receiver indications are nominal.
Check 456. Ops 1, your go for 457.
LC Ops 1, I copy.
So with last-minute cargo
All on
loads,
command sent.
they can put on
And elect
last-minute
1,
items.
458.
SNAs and ODNs all are.
And I believe that
Copy
the
that. Check
NG-11 will be
458.
slated to go up
Report range
somewhere
status.
around
LC,
April or May.
registering.
That's what they're
Check
talking about, late
459.
April.
GNC 1, step 460. Verify ready for nav mode.
What's cool about that, I don't know if you saw that,
LC,
Ken.
GNC-1, SIGI ready for nav.
We tried to
Ops
get
2,
a
your go for 461.
picture of it in our travels, but it's a huge building
LC
that
Ops
can be
2,
brought out to
SIGI
the
and nav.
pad, raised into place
Copy
while
that.
the
GNC 1.
rocket is
report SIGI
horizontal.
status.
LC, GNC-1, SIGI nav mode nominal.
Slide over
Copy
the
that.
end of
Check
the
462.
nose cap and keep a clean room type environment in the Cygnus spacecraft and load
launch will be
last-minute
advised.
stuff.
Phase 3 dynamic limits.
And from
will
there, they
be
can
active
raise
at
it vertical
T-minus 3
fairly
minutes.
quickly. T-minus 3 minutes is the last call. They can raise
And
it
elect
vertical.
1, I'll wait for your call on 465 and 466.
Now, once we come up to about 2 minutes, I'm expecting to hear a lot from the launch director. And then, of course, once the rocket
T-minus 180.
does go up, we'll
So
be
now it's officially 3 minutes,
we'll be
180 seconds.
we'll be sticking around through max Q, which is, of course, the maximum dynamic pressure on the vehicle. I think we'll hang out
Voltages and currents are nominal.
until we hit MECO, main engine cutoff, and then we're going to have to get loaded up here and join everyone else up on the bus.
Well, tonight you might actually be able to see the second stage. What's unique about this rocket is the first stage is liquid-fueled, as traditional rockets are. But the second stage is a basically solid fuel engine. The Castor solid fuel engine runs the second stage on this. So what happens is the first stage liquid-fueled, which is what they're doing now. Second stage, there's no fueling involved.
T-minus 2 minutes, 20 seconds mark.
For a second stage, it's just basically like a shuttle booster. Once you light it, it goes. And
Core
it
2,
will go
can you
till
give me
end.
467?
Just 2 minutes away from the Antares NG-10 being launched from
T-minus 2
Wallops
minutes on my
Island,
mark.
Virginia.
Getting ahead of yourself there, Ken.
I'm looking forward to the next launch.
Core 2, can you give me 467?
And what's nice about this craft as well is there's always the question of what to do
Actuator slew test initiated.
with refuse generated by the space station.
Core 1, can you give me 469?
And there are tons of refuse.
Correct. And so SpaceX will
LC Core 1,
allow
I
their
cannot confirm
craft
the VTSO is open.
will allow their craft to return to the Earth, bringing stuff back.
VTSO is open based on temperatures.
Copy that. Core 2, can you give me 467?
So what Cygnus does is once it detaches from the space station, it has a secondary mission.
I cannot give you that.
Negative, I don't have the telemetry to do that.
Interesting.
What step are we on?
Launch team looking for an answer on 467 control to CSOE.
So we're now talking many steps. We're at step 467.
We can proceed, LC, if we don't have CSOE control will fail health checks.
Okay, copy that. We're going to go ahead and proceed.
Okay, launch is still proceeding. There was a question on some telemetry that they're not getting, but they're just saying that's okay.
It could be telemetry that isn't needed.
Give me a 474.
Well,
it's all needed, but
anyways,
probably not
so
going to be dire.
LC Core 1, no, I cannot confirm.
So.
Okay, copy that. H, we're going to proceed.
Yeah, that's pre-waved.
And passing T-minus 30 seconds on my mark. Mark.
So Cygnus, what it does is it detaches from the International Space Station and will burn up in the atmosphere. So they can take trash off the space station and allow that to burn up on Cygnus after it completes its secondary mission. Once it's released from NASA, they have CubeSat.
Pressure on PFS and POS.
Mark.
And we're about to go in the terminal.
5, 4.
There we go.
3, 2, 1.
We have ignition of Cygnus.
And we have
Antares.
And we have liftoff of the NG-10 mission, taking Cygnus to the ISS. We've got engines at full power and nominal attitude. Engine performance after startup looks nominal. Good avionics power, good TVC. Attitude remains nominal. Engine operation remains stable at 100%. Through 25,000 feet. Good TVC steering. Chamber pressures look good. Velocity passing through and attitude looks good as we pass through max Q and passing through altitude of 50,000 feet.
Rockets is now through max Q. You see a vapor trail start to form.
Still operating nominally at 100% power. 5,000 feet per second.
Into a clear blue sky goes Antares with Cygnus on board to the International Space Station.
Altitude 75,000 feet. Engine operation remains nominal as we hit T plus 2 minutes. Avionics power looks good.
Antares is now going downrange. It's pitched over.
Velocity 8,000 feet per second. Engine operation remains good. Attitude remains nominal, 125,000 feet altitude. Power systems look good.
You can still hear the rumble of the Antares in the distance.
Power. And we just passed 150,000 feet altitude. Attitude remains nominal. Power looks good. We've started our slow throttle ramp as we hit 200,000 feet altitude. And attitude is nominal as we approach T plus 180 seconds.
Antares now leaving the lower atmosphere, heading to the upper
atmosphere.
atmosphere.
Engine has completed throttle down to 55% power, and we're approximately 30 seconds from MECO. Attitude remains good. Power looks good. Engines remain stable at 55%. We've started our shutdown TVC slew. Attitude remains good. Engine performance looks nominal.
MECO.
And we have MECO.
Main engine cutoff.
We actually saw the main engine cut off before they were able to call it.
And I
Waiting for
one
second
separation.
stage. Second stage ignition. We
Alarm
should
is
be able to see
activated.
this evening.
And the lower attitude remains nominal.
It'll be a brief coast phase before they kick the second engine in.
We're about 30 seconds from stage 2 ignition.
No booster recovery for the
Attitude and
Antares.
power systems look nominal.
It is expendable. So you will not see a burn back, and you will not see anything dropping out of the sky as it
At
splashes
stage
into
1
the ocean
Delta
down
V is
downrange.
17,300 feet per second. And we have fairing separation and interstage separation, and attitude remains nominal.
Cygnus is now exposed to the vacuum of space.
TBC battery initiated.
And we have a second stage ignition.
And we have stage 2 ignition, and attitude remains nominal.
Nice being a clear night like tonight. You
Power
can actually
continues
see
to
the
look
second
good.
stage. Were you able to pick that up, Ken?
Attitude is nominal.
Second stage
Caster 30
downrange
chamber
now.
pressure just peaking around 800 psi.
Well out over the Atlantic.
Attitude remains nominal, and all vehicle systems are looking good at this time.
I have the second stage burn
Attitude's
on
nominal.
camera.
Got approximately a 2.5 minute burn for the Caster 30 XL motor.
We're going to stay on until Seco, second engine cut off.
Just past T plus 5 minutes. Attitude remains nominal.
From our viewpoint here, it's just a bright star in the
looks good.
distance. The Caster engine will burn until it burns out its fuel. It's a solid rocket motor. No throttles on it,
Caster
just kick it and
30
go.
continues to burn nominally, and vehicle attitude and power systems look healthy at this point. Past T plus 5.5 minutes. Attitude remains nominal. Power systems look good. Caster 30 XL continues to burn under pressure just above 750 psi as we come up on T plus 6 minutes. Attitude and power still look good. All vehicle systems continue to look healthy
Cygnus
at this
now
time.
well on its way to the International Space Station, getting its final boost up into a low Earth orbit.
Attitude still looks good. The Caster 30 motor pressures starting to decrease slightly in the expected burn profile.
So Ken, like I said, the solid
Attitude
rocket
remains
motor.
nominal.
This will burn until it burns out,
Power
just
still
like a
looks
shuttle
good.
booster. And as it burns its fuel, it's going to taper off. So that's what it's doing right now. It's starting to taper off.
Attitude remains nominal. Starting to slow tail off on the Caster 30 XL as we approach T plus 7 minutes.
Now just a dot in the curvature of the Earth. Now getting lower on
All
the
vehicle
horizon.
systems continue to be healthy. And we've got stage 2 burnout at this time.
And I was able to see the stage 2
Attitude
burnout.
nominal. We'll now coast for 120 seconds prior to payload separation.
And that's all you'll be able to see here from Wallops Island. Now the tracking and data will go on to the NASA side of
The
the house.
FPS is disabled, and we're reorienting to the payload separation attitude.
And that'll kind of wrap up the broadcast for us.
Attitude
Actually, we have a
remains
successful
nominal.
launch from Wallops Island, and it will detach shortly from the second stage.
Loss of signal on motorcom link.
And Cygnus is on its way to the ISS. That was
Loss
fun,
of signal,
Ken.
Stage 1 link.
That was.
Attitude remains
It's,
nominal.
it's amazing how with the night launch, that the entire area gets
Vehicles
lit up
just,
for
preparing
miles
itself
and
to,
miles.
Yeah, that's
orient
correct. It
correctly,
is
for
a
the,
wake-up call for the
Cygnus, spacecraft separation event.
it is a wake-up call for the neighborhood, but they're used to it by
Attitude
now.
remains nominal as we slew to the separation vector using the second stage attitude control system.
But Cygnus will shortly detach from the Caster second stage,
Attitude remains nominal.
unfold its solar panels, and make its way to the International Space Station, making adjustments to its orbit
Power systems
to
look
sync
good.
up with the International Space Station.
And we will be making our way back up
Should
to
be roughly
Massachusetts.
30 seconds
Correct.
from payload separation.
A
at this
pleasure as
point.
always. Payload separation is next.
Attitude looks
We can
nominal, and the
turn that over to
vehicle's
NASA.
oriented
Let's
for,
do this
spacecraft
again.
separation at this point.